Well, good morning, everybody. I am super excited. I get to go to the gym today. I can't wait to go get a pump. I've been 9 days of strict carnivore, and I'm feeling great. I've got tons of energy. I can't wait to build some muscle and just get a good pump in. I'm just really feeling good about it. You guys, I hope that I'm encouraging other people to try to get healthy on the road. You guys, I just filmed a video. It's probably 20 something minutes, 30 minutes long. Um, Going over my background with diet, how I started, and some of the benefits I saw when I started, low carb, keto, that sort of stuff. So kick back, relax, enjoy the video. It's about 30 minutes long, and hopefully I've inspired somebody to start your journey of eating healthier, getting rid of the crap, trying to get workouts as much as you can, increasing your activity. So you guys, I hope you enjoy the video, and now we're going to get right to it. Well, hello everybody. I'm going to talk about my 1 week carnivore. This completes 1 week of strict carnivore from leaving the house other than coffee. And so obviously I'm a truck driver. I'm a flatbed guy. And I left the house, and I live in Wyoming. I left the house last Saturday, and it's the weekend again, so we're at 1 week of strict carnivore. I haven't had anything but meat, eggs, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's literally. I've added cheese in there. A couple of times I put cheese on my hamburger, and coffee, and I have put a little bit of cream, heavy cream, in the coffee occasionally. Um, some heavy cream is it's dairy. Dairy is questionable on carnivore, but it doesn't come from a plant, so we call it carnivore. But pretty low dairy. A little bit of cheese, like twice, 2 days I had some cheese on a hamburger, and then most mornings I put a dab of cream in the coffee. And I'm out of cream now. This is my little cooler thing. I'll have to do a video on that. This is coming really handy, except for when I bought it. When I left the house starting carnivores, when I had this, I ordered this. I got back to the house. I got this. It was supposed to fit right there in front of my seat. It's like an inch too long, and my door won't shut. So it's got to be in my stupid seat. Damn it. So I might want to get on Walmart and see if I can find one that's like an inch or 2 inches narrower or less long. And that would be more handy, just because I don't like to have the seat cluttered up with stuff. But so I am out of cream. I might do a resupply. I'm this over the weekend. I'm going to get a 34 reset, actually at a gym. So I'll be able to go to the gym, get a good workout in, and see how I perform on strict carnivore. That'll be really interesting. So, but so far so good, guys. I am feeling great. Really not any different. So just so you guys are aware, all the shorts I've been putting out are basically just to kind of document what I've been eating and kind of hopefully maybe keep me more strict on it, because I'm sharing it with people. So I need to be, it holds me accountable. That was kind of the main reason I started well, not the main reason. That was one of the reasons I started the channel, was to hold me more accountable to not cheat, because it's easy for me to cheat because I'm pretty healthy. I've been on carnivore on and off a lot. And I had just recently went through a big period of off carnivore where I was eating all kinds of stupid stuff. And I decided when I left the house, I got the fridge, and I thought, now I can actually keep more meat with me. I can be more, because I was eating out of truck stops a lot, because I just had an ice box, and had to keep putting ice in there all the time, and you can't keep very much stuff in there because it's wet. It was very difficult for me to, keep good food because I didn't have a good fridge. And a lot of truck drivers have that problem, right? I'm not the only one. So I figured I'd make the channel to hold me more accountable on it, and also I'm sure there's people out there that are similar to me that are trying to get healthy in a in a truck constantly, don't have a way to cook food, don't have, and they're just looking for ideas, looking to maybe watch someone who's doing it, give them some encouragement that they can do it as well. Hopefully that is what the channel is going to be. And just staying healthy out here on the road, whether it's carnivore, whether it's keto, whether it's whatever. I suppose people can be healthy doing vegan. I just don't know how you do it. I mean, I think there is people that stay healthy on vegan, but whatever your diet is, trying to stick to it. One nice thing we have as truckers, guys, is that a lot of people say it's harder to stay healthy on the road. Well, once you start doing it, I was just talking to my friend Jeff. He's a good friend of mine. We've been friends for years, since we were kids, and he drives for me. He drives one of my trucks, and he's the other flatbed guy, and he said the same thing. It's hard for him to stay strict carnivore when he's home with his kids, but when he's out on the road, it's pretty easy. So it's kind of a weird dynamic there. Once you start and you get used to being pretty strict at whatever diet you're sticking to, and if you're going to do this for the first time, coming off of just eating hamburgers and everything, just standard American, I really recommend you do keto first. Keto is much easier to stick to. It's a little less problematic. You don't have as much of the diarrhea and stuff starting out. I don't think. And it's very, very healthy to get into. But my point there is once you get into it, it's actually fairly easy to stick to it when you're in the truck. It's when you're home that things pop up. You want to go out with friends. You want to have some drinks. You know what I mean? And so we actually get the benefit, long haul truck drivers, OTR guys, we get the benefit of being away from our families, away from our friends for extended periods of time, where we can just focus on getting healthy. Then we can go home for a week and we can cheat, we can do all this stuff, and we can get unhealthy as long as we get back to that diet when we go on the road again. So that's, I think, actually an advantage that truck drivers have. The disadvantage we have, it's difficult to cook, it's difficult to clean our kitchen stuff, and we do not get all that much exercise, typically speaking. In the flatbed world, we get a little bit more, but there's still a lot of butt time sitting in the seat, right? Even if, a couple of times a week we're out there tarping or strapping or whatever. When I'm down here in the South, running in the South like I've been doing lately, I'll be tarping and strapping every day. Boom, 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 every day. And it is quite a bit of activity. But then when I'm on long hauls, I'll strap and tarp and run for 5 days, and then strap and tarp and run back for 5 days. So it just depends on what I'm doing on that week, whether I get activity or just a ton of butt time. But so the thing is, so far I've been feeling really good, and I don't want to mislead anybody. The reason I haven't had any gut problems or diarrhea or Hershey squirts or any real symptoms that a lot of people experience when they go cold turkey to carnivore is that I didn't go cold turkey to carnivore. I have been back and forth for years on carnivore. I've done, carnivore for a week and then I'll cheat. My typical thing when I'm out trucking is I'll do mostly carnivore for 2-3 solid days. Then I'll cheat and have a little something. And then I'll, go back to it. I might go out to the steakhouse and have a steak and a potato. That's not carnivore. It raises blood pressure, raises insulin, all this stuff, but it's tasty and I'm healthy enough where I can absorb that, right? So that's my typical thing. So when I switched to strict carnivore, I didn't notice any of those adaptation symptoms, problems, because my gut's already used to it. I'm going to probably go longer than I'm used to going. 9 days is the longest I've ever been strict. So that's really the difference. But I just wanted to clarify, because in the shorts, that I've been posting. It's kind of more, documentation. I don't have time to explain what's been going on with me. So where I came to this diet was, I have to give credit to Kevin Rutherford, his program. He used to be on Sirius. Now he has his own podcast program, live show where you can call in. He has a health day, Wednesday, where he talks about only health. And he really got me going down that road of health. And, I started basically keto, cut out grains, cut out seed oils. And that was really the point at which I made the switch. And this was probably back in 2022. This was a long time ago. I listened to him, and he kept saying, try it. Just try going off grains for a week. Try getting rid of grains and seed oils for a week. It's not that hard. And I'm like, yeah, he's right. I'm out here trucking. Let's try it, And I did that. I went off of grains and seed oils, and I did it for more than a week. I basically continue to do it. Now, seed oils creep in. You almost, it's so difficult to stop seed oils from creeping in. I've almost completely eliminated grains for 3 years, 4 years. Occasionally, my sister back home, she'll cook pizza with, good ancient grains like wine corn or something like that. And she'll have me over for dinner, and I'll have one slice to try to, be part of the dinner and not overeat. And I don't have too much problems. I do get a little gassy. I definitely have to go to the bathroom, number 2, fairly quickly after that, a day or two after that, right? Because a lot of fiber has to go through your body. So, but other than occasional, with family, having something that has a grain in it, I pretty much completely eliminated grains. I find it fairly easy to not eat grains, even going out to eat. I just don't have bread, And so that was a huge difference, guys. When I did that, one of these videos, I'll go way back and explain maybe the start of trucking for me. But I had, without going back and explaining that, I had gotten pretty unhealthy. Back around 2020, 2021, I had gotten pretty unhealthy. My gut started poking out. I started seeing flab everywhere. My pecs didn't look like pecs. They looked like tits. And it just was ugly. I was like, man, I used to love taking my shirt off and seeing myself in the mirror. And I had gotten to where, I didn't take my shirt off for shit. Nope, not doing it. No one's going to see this. I have to see it when I'm showering. That's it. And my knees started hurting. My shoulders would hurt. My hips were hurting from sitting in the seat. I mean, I was having, and I was getting older. At that point, I was 38 or 39. And I'm like, this is what everybody talks about. All these joint pains when you get older, it happens. And I didn't think about it. The fact that I know I'm getting a little unhealthy. I know I'm getting fat, whatever. I was starting a business. I started my business in 2017, my trucking business, and I was brutal with work. I almost never took a day off, no vacations. I was just go, 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 build this business. And I had known that I was going to get unhealthy doing that. And I was okay with it. So when I switched, when Kevin Rutherford finally convinced me to get rid of grains and seed oils, I don't think see, it's been so long ago now. I don't know if I noticed it in a week like he said I would. But it wasn't very long, a couple of months maybe, where all my joint pain went away. I don't know. It might have been a week. A lot of people say joint pain goes away in a week. My body's always been slow to respond to everything. I can work out like crazy and see no gains until a couple of months in, and all of a sudden you start seeing, it's always slow. My body's pretty slow to respond to stimulants. So I don't think it was a week, but it wasn't all that long. All my joint pain went away. And I had no more back pain. I had no more hip pain, no more knee pain when I got out of the truck, stepped out of the truck. You're like, oh, you're walking for kind of weird for a second, you know? And all that went away. And when it goes away, you don't notice that it's not there. It's kind of weird because it's just, you feel good. And there's a point at which you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I haven't had joint pain in like 2 days. What's going on? And so I was shocked. I'm like, okay, there is something to this. So then I started going a little further with it. I went to low carb, which is basically keto, right? So I started cutting out as much carbs as I could, which kind of naturally happens from cutting out grains. If you cut out grains, you cut out a lot of carbs. But I went even further and started cutting out carbs and started to avoid things like potatoes and all these things that have lots of carbs in there. And I started being very heavy on meat and vegetables, just meat and vegetables, like green vegetables, like broccoli, asparagus. I did a lot of onions and bell peppers, because that's something that cooks up good in a pan. You can, dice those up, cook them up, throw some eggs in there, throw a little bit of sausage in there, and you have a nice scramble, right? So I did a lot of that and tried to eliminate or lower my carb intake, and I got great results too. I started to see my waist slim up. I started to see pecs come back, right? My arms started looking like they do now, a little more definition. You could see the veins in there. Before it was just, bleh, blob. I still had the muscle back there, but it was just a blob. So everything started being more defined. Let's see, was there any other benefits? Oh, and before I cut out grains, I was very gassy. And I had been almost my whole life. And I just thought that was who I was. Like, I would fart all the time. It was difficult for me to go on a date with a girl because I had to hold it in. And when I got done with the date and I'd get back home, I'm like, oh my God, I could let go. You know what I mean? And now, almost never do I have to fart. Like maybe in the morning when I wake up, I'll have to fart one time. There's no gas. And that happened with keto. Mostly, well, that happened with dropping grains mostly. Still, the fiber from the vegetables can cause a little bit of gas, but I noticed a dramatic drop in gas. Like I was never bloated. I never had to, like all day long I was having to let go of gas because my stomach, my guts were just constantly producing this gas, right? And so I noticed that with cutting out grains. All that went away. My joint inflammation went away. Also, before I cut out grains, I was quite often I would injure my back. Lifting my tarps up on my trailer, I'd do something wrong, I'd pull it, and I'd injure my back, and I'd be like, oh, God. And for a week, my back would be killing me, right? Because I pulled something. And again, I just said, well, I'm getting older. I need to, and I wasn't in the gym all that much, so my back wasn't strong, and so it got injured easily. That's what I thought. Well, now, I haven't injured my back in years. And I'm out here doing more flatbed than I've ever done. Tarping and retarping and in a hurry and throwing shit around, and I've never injured my back. And I'm not getting to the gym anymore. I'm still 2-3 times a month getting to the gym. Luckily, I get to the gym today. I'm so excited to get to the gym. Yeah, let's do some workouts. Get pumped. But, so that was a huge, and again, it took me a year of like, wait a minute. I haven't injured my back in a long time, and I've gotten older, and I still haven't injured my back. So that kind of sold it. I was like, okay, I'm sold. So I did keto, low carb for a couple of years, maybe a year or two, I don't know. And then Kevin Rutherford started talking a little bit more about cutting out all vegetables, just straight meat and eggs. And again, I'm like, I'm good. Like, Now this, what I'm doing is fine. Like I feel great, and I just kind of naturally moved into it because um, it's kind of easier when you're in the truck not to carry vegetables. Vegetables spoil really quickly, um, and meat doesn't. You know, hamburger you can freeze. If you have a freezer. Now I have this. I have it set down to not freeze. I can set it to freeze. I can bring it up to freeze, but then I'd have to thaw everything out first. So if I had a regular fridge, like most truckers do, where you have a little tiny refrigerator, a little tiny freezer, you can throw like 3 or 4 pounds of hamburger in your freezer, and that stays good forever. So meat's a little easier, I think, to carry. It lasts a little longer. Eggs, great. You can put them on a shelf. You don't have to refrigerate eggs, guys. I've had eggs back here since I resupplied in Casper, Wyoming. That was 10, 15 days ago. And I'm still eating them. Now, some people might say, oh, they're going to go bad. I'm still eating them. I don't know. Maybe they're bad. I don't know. But my body says they're fine. So, and then, butter, you can put butter in a fridge pretty easy. But so I just kind of moved to it just because it's like, maybe I don't have to go to the store every 3 days and buy onions and bell peppers and broccoli and all this stuff. and I did cut those out. But I've been pretty loose with that. Like I said, I've not been strict carnivore for any length of time really. I just convert to it and then convert back and convert to it and convert back, which I think is fine. I have no problem with that. But for the purpose of the channel, I want to do a stretch of time. I don't know how long that's going to be. Probably this hitch. So from the time I'm trucking till the time I get back home, basically, I'll be cheating when I get back home because, you always want to have a sip of barley pop, beer. And but I'll probably be strict this has been 9 days, so I'll probably go another week. Might go a full month. I don't know. We'll see. And, but carnivore has been really good for me. And I claim I've on carnivore, like I said, I've been a little loose with the diet, but I can still say I'm mostly carnivore. And right now I've been strict carnivore for 9 days. And I have not noticed any of the Hershey squirts, any of the stomach stuff, any of the getting plugged up that a lot of people notice. And I think that's because I've been in and out for the last couple of years. And so, so far, you guys, I feel really good. It is amazing when you get to a couple of days in, 5-6 days in, you start really kind of dropping those cravings. Like I still want ice cream because ice cream's delicious, right? Everybody thinks so. And ice cream's my big cheat. I love ice cream. And it's kind of, I tell myself it's carnivore because it's cream, eggs, and sugar. The sugar is the only real bad part of that. And then every one you get is going to have some sort of gum or some sort of ingredient in there unless you make ice cream yourself, which I do, and I might do a video when I'm at home making ice cream. Carnivore ice cream with no bad ingredients. The only ingredient I use for sweetener is honey, and you can do it without it. It just doesn't taste as good. But I've kind of got off on a squirrel moment there. Where was I at, guys? So it's amazing once you get in and some of those cravings go away. Like the first couple of days, you guys, I was really like biting my lips trying not to go into the truck stop and buy a tub of ice cream. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, ice cream would be good, but I'm good. I'll just go to bed. And so also, you notice that you don't really need to eat as much. You don't get those hunger cravings nearly as much. Constantly all throughout the day, you get hunger cravings when you need fuel, and then you eat and you're good for the day. Like last night I ate a pound. So during the day I ate a pound of hamburger, I ate 3 eggs, and a couple strips of bacon. And when I got parked, I thought, well, I should cook some food. And I'm like, I'm not really hungry. And I'm like, yeah, I probably better eat those. So I went ahead and cooked a half a pound of hamburger and 2 eggs and ate those and then went to bed. But I could have just went to bed. I wasn't like, oh, I got to eat. You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, a 1 pound of hamburger typically is pretty low per day. I normally need 1.5 to 2 pounds of beef a day when I'm on carnivore is normal. So I went ahead and ate a little bit. But anyway, so far so good, guys. Hopefully I'm inspiring others to change your diet and look at healthier ways to eat and things you can do while on the road to stay healthy. Hopefully I'll be adding in some workout stuff that I can do on my trailer. Sun tanning, I try to get out and lay out on my trailer as often as I can to pick up some natural sun. That's really good for your skin and get good vitamin D out of it. And we need to have natural sunlight without sunscreen, guys. Do not use sunscreen. I do not use sunscreen anymore. Haven't in years. So please, if you don't believe me, look into it. Sunscreen is what's giving people cancer. It's not the sun. So it's also the seed oils. So sunscreen mixed with seed oils is giving people skin cancer. Natural sun has been beating down on humans for a long time before we had the invention of sunscreen. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to end the video there. I just want to give an update of how it's going. Everything's looking pretty good. I've not had any adaptation stages, probably because I've done this before. And I just basically am coming back to it from being pretty unhealthy for a while. Couple of weeks, a couple of weeks of just eating all kinds of stupid stuff. Lots of alcohol while I was on vacation and everything. So, so far so good. I feel strong. I have tons of energy. No complaints. No joint pain. Of course, I didn't have joint pain because I've already fixed that 4 years ago. So a lot of the benefits that most people will see when they switch to carnivore, I've already seen 4 years ago. So just keep that in mind, guys. I may not be the best indicator of, someone switching today because I didn't switch today. I'm coming back to a strict form of it, but I've always been on it for a while. So hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys are encouraged to try a new diet. And I hope you're inspired. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend that might get some value out of it. I appreciate it, guys.